All right. So what I'm going to cover today is the Boolean Cut Tool and the do's and don'ts of it. The sort of the incorrect topology it creates cutting into the surface and how to clean it up. But also I'm going to cover, more importantly, a way to avoid going through the Boolean Cut Tool and creating the topology correctly. And actually, it's a much easier way when you're modeling. It takes much longer to fix topology, I think, than it is to just sort of create it correctly right off the get-go. So I'm going to do a strange little shape here. And we've done this once before with the car model and the headlight. But I'm going to go ahead and show you and what the Boolean Cut Tool does. And then I'm also going to show you how to hard surface model something. And really what that means is you're just going to bevel a bunch of edges, but I'm going to get into detail on that in just a bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a cube. I'm going to scale it up, and then I'm going to create a circle. I'm going to select my cube, shift select my circle under modeling. Under mesh, I'm going to go to booleans and I'm going to do difference. And you're going to notice that it cuts a nice clean circle in there. Now that's all fine and dandy, but if you remember me telling you that Maya reads everything in triangles technically, or quads in this case, how to read topology correctly. Now, with that being said, if I hit the 3 button, this is how here's the true test to find out if you have clean topology or not. Press the 3 button. If you're getting something funky like that, your mesh is totally wrong, and it will not work. It'll probably crash other systems. I wouldn't be surprised upon like importing, depending if it can create the triangles it needs, because a lot of software will do that. But certainly, if I were to run a smooth on this, that does not look right at all. So that being said, this is absolutely the wrong way to go about creating that surface. If you were going to clean it up, you would have to go through each one of these and start to clean this up like so. And I have no idea why it's doing that. I'm going from this point, and you'll see it cannot read the topology correctly. That time it did, but you saw twice there it didn't. And I'm just going to go through and create this like so. So you would create like these star shapes here. You might even want to go something like so, and then you'll see even stranger topology happening. And you'll notice all types of glitches are happening just by trying to clean this up. And with that, it's not really worth the effort. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to start with a cube. I'm going to create a circle. And one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to, on the cube itself, to make this process, because we're going to basically Boolean cut it ourselves, just in a different fashion. I'm going to go once here and once here, and that should do it. On here, I'm going to bring this down, and we're going to cover a little bit about subdividing as well. So I've got this here like so in my side viewport. Press 4 and just go ahead, and I'm going to make it about right there. So I just snapped it holding V for vertex. So the next thing I'm going to do, if I want to cut that semicircle in, I'm going to delete the top. And then on here, I'm going to delete these faces. On this, I'm going to reverse my display so it extrudes correctly, because I'm going to extrude it now. I always like to have shading wireframe on shaded on. And under vertex, I'm going to go ahead and start to snap these into place. Now, you may be saying, well, you have so much less topology on this sphere than you did the previous one, and you added a few more edges on the cube. That really doesn't make any difference when using the Boolean Cut Tool. As far as I know, Autodesk said that they had updated it and upgraded it. I've virtually seen no difference in the tool's settings at all. It still functions the same exact way it always has, cutting in strange geometry and never actually working right until you clean it up. And on top of that, as you just saw, I was cleaning it up and it did not respond very well at all. So that is really not the best way to go about this. But this way, however, is. So once I extrude this out and I snap these to my corresponding spots, I'm going to combine. Because when you model, you're always going to want to have low topology. I'm going to merge my verts. A low topology surface here. So you're going to see now I've cut in this circle. I'm going to cover some hard surface modeling tips here now. And let's say I want to have a hard edge around this. I'm going to bevel the edge. I'm going to set it to have 2 segments, and I'm going to bring this down to 0.1. So now, when I go 3 mode, you'll see I've got a hard surface around the edge here. Now, also in edge mode, I'm going to go ahead and select, make sure that these are merged correctly. It should be, but otherwise I'd have some pull or whatever. But so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these edges, and I'm going to bevel these, and I'm going to go in, and actually in 3 mode I'll show you what it looks like. Bevel edge, 2, and I'm going to bring this down to 0.1, and you'll notice I'm starting to get that hard surface here. I'll do it again here at the bottom. Bevel edge, and you'll notice right away 2 segments, and I'm just doing 2 just to show you, and 0.1. You'll notice you start to get that hard edge. Now this might start to mess up my circle in the center, but I'm just going to show you really quickly. If you want to straighten out these edges, bevel edge, it does mess up my circle a little bit. So in order to avoid that mishap, and this glitch is just extremely annoying. It's not hard to work with. I'm pretty used to it, but as you can tell, the constant glitching. It's like I don't have epilepsy or something, but I could imagine it's like epilepsy or something, some kind of lighting kind of thing. Anyway, here I'll bevel these edges, make it 2 segments, bring it down my fraction. Now I've got this harder surface, and in here, this is really what it comes down to with hard surface modeling. You're going to notice I have this strange geometry here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this point directly here and this point directly here, just to clean that up a bit. And then I no longer need this. Holding Control and Delete will delete any vertices attached to that. And this should clean it up. If I made it like 0.05 on the distance, it would be a little bit closer. But this is totally fine for this example. Holding Control and Delete. Again here and here. Holding Control and Delete. Here to here and here to here. Control Delete, just to double check. Yep. And now you'll see I've got these harder surfaces, and in here you'll notice that obviously I don't have my quads anymore, so you'd want to be able to fix that as well. And triangles are totally fine, so I would just connect these in here like so. so we don't get any strange glitching. And this is just for the hard surface part of this. You could essentially keep this all in quads by going from this point to this point, going from here to here, and you'll see that everything stays in quads. Triangles are fine, but if you're going to do it, you might as well, if it's worth doing, you might as well do it right. Go here to here, and now I've got all quads in all of these regions. And the only place I have triangles is in this location here. So if I press 3 now, you'll notice I still retain that hard edge around the circle. I also have my hard edge here. If I were to make this even a sort of a tighter fit, what I could do is add a few more divisions. Wanted to do 3, apply, close. And what I'll show you is in 3 mode, if I start to bring this up, those edges are going to become much tighter. So in 1 you'll see that's pretty decent. And if I wanted to, obviously I could make it even stronger, but you'll see that you have this hard surface edging. Even though I only have 2 segments, you'd want to bevel more segments in for a sharper edge. But generally, any machine manufactured type object, soften edge, will automatically sort of have not a perfectly sharp 90-degree angle, but some type of bevel on it. And also, if you wanted to smooth this, now we run a smooth, you'll notice it adjusts the geometry accordingly, and now I have all of those in here, all those extra, all the extra geometry that we had from earlier. So that covers hard surface modeling as well as in 3 mode, as well as the Boolean / custom Boolean cut tool. It's really just a combination of modeling tricks and tips, but the Boolean tool does not respond very well. So here you are. This is the Boolean cut tool and some hard surface modeling tips. Thanks for watching.